and especially for justice for the Palestinians. I'm sure a few people will want to hear some songs as well. Anybody here came here just to hear some songs? Yeah, I think so. But the message that we take back is not just that we want Elbit out of Oldham, we want Elbit out of business. So, we're going to start marching down towards the bottom now. If you would all like to get onto the road behind the banners, the front banner, the yellow banner held by Lowkey and the younger people supporting Elbit weapons tested on Palestinians. And that is one of the messages that the workforce and the management of Elbit inside there need to understand. That what you are doing, Elbit, is producing weapons to be tested on Palestinians. Disgraceful!
Shame on you, Elbit!
Shame on you, Elbit! Shame on you, Elbit!
Shame on you, Elbit!
Shame on you, Elbit!
Shame on you, Elbit!
Shame on you, Elbit!
Shame on you, Elbit!
Shame on you, Elbit!
Shame on you, Elbit!
Brick by brick, wall by wall, Elbit factories going to fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, Elbit factories going to fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, Elbit factories going to fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, Elbit factories going to fall.
Shut Elbit down!
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 Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Viva, viva!
Palestina!
Viva, viva!
Palestina!
Viva, viva! Viva, viva!
Wave your flags, everyone! Let's have a real display of action in support of the Palestinians. If you've got a flag, wave your flag, and if you're taking a video, let's hear it for the Palestinians. Free, free! 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 Okay, with the photographers have nearly taken 10 million photos, which I hope you're going to send to Gaza in the West Bank. One more, last one, and then we're going to march down, and we're going to hear some music, and we're going to hear some more speeches, and we're going to keep saying, shut down Elbit! Shut down Elbit! Let's move down, let's move! And as we go, look at the grills, look at the barbed wire, look at the enforced defences that Elbit is putting up to try and protect itself. That's what you're frightened of, Elbit. You're frightened of the truth. You're frightened of people knowing that what you are doing is building weapons of mass destruction. Shame on you, Elbit. You should be building hoovers and washing machines, not bombs. So let's have shut down Elbit. Shut down. 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 Palestine! From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Free, free! Palestine! 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 Shut Elbit down!
West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
This is for Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Long live Palestine!
Long live Gaza!
Three peace signs up in the air, put them up high. Three peace signs up in the air, let's see them up high. Come down, come down, come down, come this way. Put them up there. While we listen to tunes made by ignorant fools, Israel, look the UN from delivering food. They bring in the troops and we won't even glimpse of the news. Make money off the products we are quick to consume. And this is not simply a question of different views. Forget emotions, this is facts. What I spit is the truth. It's not about if you're a Christian or if you're a Jew. It's just people living in different conditions to you. They still die when you run their schools, mosques and hospitals. It's not because of rockets, please God, can you stop this all? I'm not related to the strangers on the TV, but I relate, cause no strangers could have been me. Words can never ever explain the raw tragedy. It's not a war, they're just murdering more rapidly, and we are automatically supporting pure savagery. Imagine how you feel if this was your family. Put them up there. Sing it with me now. Free, 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 free. Free, 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 free. If Ibrahim Abu Thuraya could resist without a wheelchair, 10-year challenge, they'll reggae, we are still here. Until that killing Netanyahu, we should feel fear. The old live through us, guarantee the children will care. Criminal, not invincible, and you know it's Armadoon, still sitting in their stoic. May not feel us with you when you listen to our poems. You inspire humanity, your resistance is heroic regardless of talk. It is time we answer the call. Through your strength and spirit you provide example for all. How to live, how to love when attacked when the clouds are gone. Soldiers can't be drowned by the sound of guns. Or just watching tragic times in a satellite dish. The least that we can give you is an anthem like this. They panic tried to sanitize and analyze this, but we love you more than ever, still Palestine lives. Put them up there. Sing it with me now. Free, 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 free. This is for Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine.
Tell who the terrorists. When they put it on me, I tell them this. I'm all about peace and love. But they're calling me a terrorist, like they don't know who the terrorists. Insulting my intelligence. Oh, how these people judge.
It seems like the ragheads and backies are worrying your dad when your dad's favourite food is curry and kebab. It's funny but it's sad how they making mommy hurry with her backs while they read the sun and study all the facts. Tell me, what's a bigger threat to human society? BAE systems or homemade remote control drones killing off human lives of man with homemade. I know you were terrified when you saw the towers fall. It's all terror, but some forms are more powerful. It seems nuts. How could there be such agony when more people die from peanut allergies? It's like the definition didn't ever exist. I guess it's all just dependent who the nemesis is. Irrelevant, however, with the rhetoric pending on this. They're telling fibs now. Tell us who the terrorist
They're
is.
calling me a terrorist, like they don't know who the terror is. When they put it on me, I tell them this. I'm all about peace and love. But they're calling me a terrorist, like they don't know who the terror is. Insulting my intelligence. Oh, how these people judge.
Lumumba was democracy, Massa, that was democracy. AM, there was democracy, hypocrisy, it bothers me. Who you terrorists if you don't wanna be a colony? Refuse to bow down to a policy of robbery. Terrorism, my lyrics, with more Vietnam vets, kill themselves
So after the war they died in it. This is very basic. One nation in the world has over 1,000 military bases. They say it's religion, but clearly it isn't. Not just Muslims that oppose your imperialism. We still go chap as a Muslim. I didn't think so, was Castro a Muslim? I didn't think so, it's like the definition didn't ever exist. I guess it's all just depending who your nemesis is. Irrelevant how eloquent the rhetoric peddling is. They're telling fibs now, tell us who the terrorist is.
Calling me a terrorist, like they don't know who the terror is. When they put it on me, I tell them this: I'm all about peace and love. They're calling me a terrorist, like they don't know who the terror is. Insulting my intelligence. Oh, how these people judge. You think that I don't know, but I know.
Thank you so much, people. Are we going to have a performance from these young men? Are we? Thank you so much. Let's keep the pressure up. Let's keep pushing them. Let's keep it absolutely abundantly clear that you cannot coexist in this community. You are making weapons that kill people that we perceive to be our siblings. We will not accept it. You're using these weapons to kill people in Kashmir. You're using these weapons to kill people in Gaza. We are one hand with them. It ends here. It stops here. Keep coming back every single week. You are on the right side of history. Thank you so much.
Down Elbit! Shut down Elbit! Shut down Elbit! Brick by brick! Wall by wall! Elbit factory's gone too far! Palestine will be free! Palestine! Palestine! Shut down Elbit! Shut down Elbit!
All right, guys, thank you. Thank you for Lowkey. Thank you to Lowkey. Thank you. I just want to say there's so many people involved in making today happen, but unfortunately there are no organisers. Like, everyone's turned up, so there's no one single person. Everyone put a small bit in to make today happen. So there's so many groups that I want to thank, but I will eventually end up forgetting to say someone, so I'm not going to say anyone. But especially I want to thank Lancashire Peace Forum for lending the stage, Colin for the sound system. But Lowkey was right, we've got to come back every single week. We've got to be on it, we've got to make it happen. We know they can hear us, we know they can see us, and we know we are making a difference. The first protest we ever had outside Elbit Franti, there was a massive logo at the top there. It said Ferranti. The second protest we came to, they took it down. And then after a few years, we kept on protesting, and then they put barbed wires on. And then after the barbed wires, they put new cameras on. And then after that, the police started to come every time we had a protest. And then after that, what they started to do, they boarded themselves up. They boarded themselves up, they locked themselves in. When Elbit Systems purchased Ferranti in 2007, Ackerman, the CEO of Elbit Systems, he said, the reason why we purchased Elbit Systems is because we want a better access to the UK market. Their better access is locking up every Tuesdays when we turn up. And we're going to lock Elbit Systems out of the United Kingdom. We're going to kick Elbit Systems out of Oldham. It will happen. It might not happen next week or next month, but it will happen. And I can guarantee you now that people will talk about this day, people will talk about when Lowkey came to Oldham, and people will talk about when the community came out and said to Elbit, jog on mate, jog on, get out of here. Elbit will be gone. And it might not be in my lifetime, but hopefully it is. But we will see for sale, we will see a for sale, we will see a closure sign on Elbit systems in the whole of the United Kingdom. So let's make it happen, every single one of you, 110%.
I do want to say thank you to some groups, because a lot of people have put a lot of work into today. A lot of people are putting a lot of work into all of these actions. Can we give a big round of applause to Palestine Action that are still taking actions all over the country, on the roof, locking on, shutting them down. I was in Gaza, I know what it's like. Anybody here that was in those hospitals, watching those kids coming in, kids like here, kids like our kids, parents, loved ones, coming in, and they've been blown to pieces, and they are picking them out of the rubble, and that is the reality of it. You have to see it to believe it, perhaps, but that is the reality. Anybody that was in those hospitals would have been running out to stop that arms factory from functioning, from producing these weapons. That is an absolute blight on the conscience of humanity. So we have to get behind them. Please give a big round of applause to Unite for Palestine from Oldham. And Nav and lots of others who have put a hell of a lot of work in getting this brilliant flatbed down and charging through no matter who was here, and the sound system and everything else. Fantastic work. Perhaps Nav might say a few words at some point. And also Oldham Peace and Justice, who have been galvanising everybody to get down here every single week. We've got Manchester PSC, who also massively supported these actions. Manchester Palestine Action as well, Manchester Jewish Action for Palestine, Manchester Youth for Palestine, Stand With Palestine, all of these amazing Palestine groups who have been supporting, including the University of Manchester as well. They've been supporting these actions, and that is how we win. They won in Ireland. They forced Raytheon out after their bombing of Lebanon, Israel's bombing of Lebanon. They won. And it took people on the roof, it took people smashing up their computers, it took people like you and us blocking the road and saying, we won't stop until you are out. And they worst gun runners in the world, and we will keep fighting. And are we going to come back every week? Are you going to come back every week? We have to come back every week, because the Palestinians don't have a choice. They have to march just for living in Gaza, and they're facing the bullets every single day, every single time they walk near the borders, every single time they're beneath the bombs in the sky. And I see those drones in the sky in Gaza whenever you go out, let alone the gunships in the sea chasing after the fishermen. That's your horizon if you're a kid in Gaza. That's your future. So we can come out every single week if they can come out facing the bullets, and that's just what we're going to do. We are going to finally get freedom for Palestine, but we are going to do our own bit here in Oldham. We're going to shut Elbit down! 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 We're going to get, fortunately, and we'll give him a big round of applause to this, Lowkey is going to do one more rendition about Palestine for us. And I want everybody to get involved. Can people come to the front a bit more? Guys, move over a bit, let them in. Let the young ones in, please, come on. It can't just be you guys all the way. Let's get some of the younger ones in the front.
Bring the banner down in the middle there. Eileen and Fazane, bring the banner down. That's it. Bring the banner down a bit. And then your banners, we've got support here from Halifax. We've support here from Manchester. We've support here from Liverpool. You didn't think I was leaving you out then, did you, when I looked at you? No, we've support from Liverpool, and we've got over there the banner that needs to be emblazoned on all our thinking. Elbit out of Oldham. Now I just want to give one piece of information before we have some more inspiration, and that piece of information is that tomorrow Wednesday morning, I know not everybody can get off on a Wednesday morning, but tomorrow, Wednesday morning, at Manchester Immigration Tribunal, there is a very important immigration case. It's a very unusual case, but it's one that demands the support of anyone who can get there to show solidarity. Just let me speak, don't heckle me, please. And that piece of information is an young Israeli man who is an anti-Zionist. So it's a young Israeli who is against Zionism, and he is seeking asylum in this country because of the fear of persecution by other Israelis if he is returned to Israel. And that is an important case for all of us, because we know that Israel is a Zionist and an apartheid country. But to get a ruling in the law that Israel is a Zionist and an apartheid country and not safe even for Israelis to be there would be an important ruling. And for this young lad who's been brave enough to challenge the system and to come here and seek asylum from persecution, he demands our support. So if you can get to the Manchester Immigration Tribunal in the middle of Manchester Piccadilly Gardens tomorrow morning, we will be having a supportive protest from 9 o'clock tomorrow morning in support. And I make this point for another reason. We almost always say it. We always don't need to say it, but we say it nonetheless. We are not anti-Jewish. Anybody on the BBC ever spot that? No. Anybody from the BBC here? Listening maybe? No. But we are not anti-Jewish. We are against the racism and the apartheid state of Israel, and we will continue to support the Palestinians against the apartheid regime of Israel. Lowkey. Big round for Lowkey.
Say shut Elbit down. 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 And remember the lesson from Derry, when 9 people took it upon themselves to smash up the Raytheon factory because it was sending weapons to be used by the Israelis in Lebanon for war crimes. What happened when those 9 people entered the court? No conviction, not guilty. You know why? You know why? Because stopping war, you know how many convictions? 0. Because stopping war crimes is not a crime. We're gonna do, one more time, we're gonna do Long Live Palestine, but what I want is I want us to say shut Elbit down! Say shut Elbit down! When I say Elbit, you say shut him down. Elbit! 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 While we listen to tunes made by ignorant fools, Israel, nothing hearing from delivering food. They bring in the troops and we won't even glimpse of the truth. They make money off the products we are quick to consume. And this is not simply a question of different views. Forget emotions, this is fact. What I spit is the truth. It's not about if you're a Christian or if you're a Jew. It's just people living in different conditions to you. They still die when you run their schools, mosques and hospitals. It's not because of rockets, please God, can you stop this all? I'm not related to the strangers on the TV, but I relate, cause those strangers could have been me. Words could never ever explain the raw tragedy. It's not a war, they're just murdering more rapidly, and we are automatically supporting pure savagery. Imagine how you feel if this was your family. Sing it with me now, free, 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 free. If Ibrahim Abu Thulayya could resist without a wheelchair, 10-year challenge, show we are still here.
What's up, mate?
We should feel fear, guarantee the children okay. unbreakable, not invincible. When you know it's all we're doing, still sitting in this story. May not feel us when you listen to our words. You inspire, you
I should have been in court on the 15th of October, but they the case because they don't want to be held to account. They don't want to be held to account. But I guarantee at some point, one of us will be held to account for trying to shut them down. We may be held to account for preventing war crimes and preventing the Israeli military from breaking international law. Now the people that work in Oldham,
yeah, while there was war.
They may have had this job for a long time. As much as like the people in Birmingham may have had that job for a long time. They want to take food home, they want to take money home to their families. But can we put the lives of people in this country over the people's lives in Palestine? Can we put the profits of arms companies above the lives of people in Palestine?
Did they make it over?
So we have a choice, and we have potentially a specific privilege. I know I do, and I want to use that, and I want to utilise a voice that I have to try and shut down the murderous industry that goes on in this building. It may not seem so bad to the people that work in it, but we assure you, the lives of the people around the world who are destroyed by war need you to be brave and leave. They need you to be brave and find somewhere else to work because their lives matter as well. So I want to thank the people on top of the roof trying to highlight this, potentially putting themselves in a lot of danger, potentially putting themselves in harm's way. I know that roof might not look so stable, and they're willing to go across it. They are willing to do that because they know that their sacrifice is so little compared to what so many people go through every single day in the name of profit for warmongers. So that's really all I have to say, and I thank and appreciate every single one of you. Free Palestine and justice for Grenfell.
Some powerful words there. And this is the person that put herself on the line. She put her freedom on the line. And she blocked the entrance of Arconic. How? And that is amazing. And I've lost count the amount of people that have been arrested outside Elbit Frantic. I've lost count the amount of times the police have had to come and remove protesters. There are only 2 people awaiting trial at the moment, and their court case isn't till 2022. They keep kicking it into the long grass. There was a case in the Supreme Court of England, R versus Ziegler, and they said that if you block, if you hold, or if you disrupt an arms fair or an arms company, it is a proportionate response. It is a legal form of protest. We take the road every single Tuesday. Every Tuesday we take this road. It's blocked off. And people complain about a 5-minute detour. A 5-minute detour they complain about. They do not consider the factory behind us, what is it does and what it's responsible for. A 5-minute block in the road is nothing compared to the destruction and death of what this factory does. It is proportionate. You cannot be an arms company and sell bombs and wipe whole neighbourhoods out. You can't be an arms company that sells bullets that kill people, and then you complain that people are on your roof. You complain that your windows have been put through. You complain that there's been paint sprayed on your windows. You're the guys that are dropping bombs. You are the real murderers. You are the real criminals here. What we are doing, it is legitimate, it is proportionate, and it is acceptable by the Supreme Court of this land. It is acceptable under English law. And we say, we will keep coming, we will block this road. People might get on the roof, people might spray paint, people might even write to their MP and ask our MPs to do something about it. But whatever you decide to do something. Do something. Could be anything. Do something. We can keep going. We can keep going. And I tell you, I said to people, wait a minute, it's going to get cold, it's going to get windy. People are not going to turn up in Oldham on a cold, windy afternoon. But guess what? We're going to keep going, because I'm sure we can carry this on till Christmas. I'm sure we can carry this on till the new year. And we know we are being recognised, and we know Elbit knows we're here. Thank you.
Can we just have a big round of applause, please, for Moat, who is from Gaza? Give him a big round of applause to Moat, who's going to say a few words.
Of course, so we all are here protesting outside. So we're protesting outside the factory, which produces guns, which harms the Palestinian people. Yeah. So as I said, we're protesting outside the factory, which is producing guns, which is what is used to.
What's your part in that way?
Innocent kids, innocent people.
You confirmed that.
Just a quick touch-up point. So obviously, when bombing happens, so obviously it happens in Gaza. But what seems to happen is people forget what happened in the other places. So, for example, Jerusalem, Nablus, and the rest of the cities. Yes, Gaza gets bombed, but the other cities don't. But what happens in the other city is as worse, basically. So we get moms who get killed right in front of the kids. We got kids who get killed.
If you just join and there's someone on the roof.
We get people who get basically taken in cars, and God knows where to go. Some go to prison, some go to places no one knows about. Some goes missing, basically. And this obviously has been happening ever since the occupation has been going on, so for more than 72 years. So when something happens in Palestine, or let's say when something happens in Gaza, it doesn't just happen in Gaza, it happens in the whole of Palestine, because we all, as Palestinians, we all go through the same pain, through the same pain of having someone who died, through the same pain of someone being arrested, to the same pain of someone being killed, as I said. Obviously we have the innocent kids who get arrested for literally cycling around the place. So for cycling around, it's seen by the Israelis as a big offense, which, let's be honest, why will you arrest someone for cycling? He's not doing anything, he's not throwing rocks, he's not doing anything, he's literally cycling around, not doing anything, go to the shops, and his mother something, or his parents. Let's keep what's going on in Palestine, obviously, in our heads. Let's not forget, let's educate ourselves more about what's going on. Let's educate our kids, the future generation. And let's keep shouting Free Palestine. Let's keep going to Oldham. We need to shut down this factory, no matter what. Even if it takes years, even if it takes months, it could take 10 years, as long as we keep going down. As long as we're alive, basically, let's keep going here, and let's keep protesting, and let's keep shouting, let them hear our voice. We will shut this factory down. We will, like there's no doubt about it, this factory will be shut down. And big shout out to the people on the roof doing the bit. Thank you guys. Let me hear you guys scream with me, yeah? Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Free, free! Palestine! Can we be a bit louder? Let's make the people inside hear us, yeah?
Free, free. Free, free. Free, free. Free, free. What do you want? When do you want it? What do you want? When do you want it? Free, free. Free, free. Free, free. Free, free. Thank you. And as always, we save our biggest cheer for Palestine. We are always thinking of Palestine. Palestine on our minds, because this is exactly what it's all about, and this is the connect right here. When I was on the roof of the Elbit factory in Shenstone in 2014, we occupied it for 3 days. It was during the bombing of Gaza. They killed 500 children in 51 days. This is what they did. While I was on that roof, my students, and I was a university lecturer, were killed by a drone. In Gaza. So this is what Elbit makes. Elbit makes 85% of the drones that are used against the Palestinian people. 85% of the drones are built by Elbit. And this is the company here right now. We want to get them off this land because the connect is real. Well, that's right, exactly. And obviously we have, in previous times, the Fire Brigades Union has refused, because they support the Palestinians, they've refused to try and get to follow the police. So can we please pass on and give a big round of applause to Yusra, whose family is from Algeria. Give Yusra a big round of applause.
Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. A lot of you are probably unaware of this, but I come from a country that was colonised for 132 years. And despite having very few allies, no weapons and no army, we gained our independence thanks to the power of the people.
Watch out, dogger.
This is why I wholeheartedly believe that there's hope in freeing the people of Palestine. They tried to ethnically cleanse us and rob us of our identity, and history is just repeating itself. Minor changes lead to a major impact. It's time for us to make a change. I look forward to seeing the change I truly believe we can make.
Okay, now I'm trying to turn the speakers around a bit so you can hear us up on the roof. But it's a bit difficult to do that. We've got one more speaker who has his own story to tell. Please come and address us now.
Assalamu alaikum guys, and in English, peace be upon you. My name is Hassan and I come from Iraq. And for the people in the West to understand the stories of those who've been suffering and damaged by foreign terror that have been taking our lands from Algeria, from Palestine, from Iraq, from Afghanistan, from Pakistan, from any country in the Middle East. At the age of 7, the American Marines has been invading one house by house to search for any excuse to shoot people. And I woke up as a child to M16 point by a US Marine to my head. And little did they know, they thought every single Arab man or Kurd, for that matter, they don't speak English. So between them they were speaking, shall we shoot this guy, for no reason. As a child who wakes up from his sleep, he's unconscious of what's going on around him. So the first thing he would look for is his mother. But my mom wasn't there. She was being searched downstairs in one of the rooms by the Marines. So I removed the gun from my head and I was like, good morning, mister. And from the eyes of his eyes, he was shot. And it was like, did this guy just speak English? And as I walk downstairs, I see my father is a doctor. And a doctor's private. The next thing you know, I go downstairs, see my sisters, 4 of my sisters in one room, getting searched by Marines.
The actual
for no reason. Our only reason is we called Iraqis. We help people. We try to save them because we're a family of doctors. The next thing you know, a taxi driver by the name Ahmad Karim in the capital of Iraq, Baghdad, shot to the head by US Marine because he was taking his daughters, Aya and Sarah, to a primary school. And for those of the West who don't believe and think this all is a propaganda against an imperialist country, I can tell you the truth. Our house used to be 15 minutes from the most infamous and dangerous prison in the world, Abu Ghraib. Where you can, if you go by a car, you can hear the screams of the prisoners inside begging for mercy by human killers called the American forces. If you don't believe the stories you don't lie from Wikipedia or WikiLeaks for that matter, there's people my age and those who came from the so-called land of freedom. So for factories like this, you can see as a structured building, but what we see is a war killing machine that kills human beings and children. Till this day, it will never be forgotten how many kids became fatherless, motherless, because of that factory look behind you. Thank you. And from the land to the sea! From the land to the sea! Thank you.
Thank you very much. Big round of applause, thank you. And it shows the international perspective that we must always bring to the protest that we hold. And in that spirit, I would like to thank everybody who has supported Kashmir, and the occupation of Kashmir is a crime, just as the occupation of Palestine is a crime. One of the chants that we have had, I will invite you to just sing now. From Kashmir to Palestine, occupation is a crime. All right, give another go. From Kashmir to Palestine, occupation is a crime. From Kashmir to Palestine, occupation is a crime. Now we have a sister here from Bradford who says tomorrow afternoon in Bradford at Centenary Park from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock there is a protest in support of Kashmir. So if you're from or can get to Bradford tomorrow afternoon, that's after you've been to the Manchester Immigration Tribunal in the morning, so make a day out of it. But in Bradford, 2 till 4, Centenary Park, protest in support of Kashmir. Now inside this building behind us, we understand that one of the Palestine Action activists has got inside the factory. Let's have a big round of applause for the activist who's inside that factory, who is trying to clear that factory out of all those weapons. Hey! Shut down Elbit! Shut down Elbit! Shut down Elbit! Elbit out of Oldham! Elbit out of Oldham! Elbit out of Oldham! Alright, we just...
Shut down Elbit!
Palestine! 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 Palestine!
Shut down Elbit! 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 From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free! From the river to the sea! Palestine will be free!
So great news, we just heard there that there is somebody inside, there is somebody who's trying to dismantle those weapons, and of course if you have a gun runner at the corner of your street who is selling to known criminals who are murdering people, you would want them taken off that street, you'd want their weapons destroyed, just like they actually round up the weapons in Brazil and other countries when they want to have an arms amnesty because they want to stop the crimes taking place. Well, let me tell you, anybody here who was seeing those crimes in Gaza and seeing the rubble as those young women were being brought out of it from the Dalou family, as I was in 2012 during the bombing of Gaza in what they called Pillar of Cloud, the attack
of 8 days that killed 170 people, including 32 children, they would say straight off the bat, we need those weapons destroyed. We know they're going to a criminal state. Human Rights Watch, even, these conservative human rights organisations have just called it an apartheid state. Well, did we listen to Mandela when he talked about apartheid, and he says that actually freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians, and likens what Israel's doing to apartheid? I thought we buried apartheid. I thought we said no more that you're born a certain way and you get discrimination. And yet look at what's going on. Look at the world and how it turns its back. We destroyed those weapons, we stopped the weapons, we had an arms embargo to apartheid South Africa, and eventually they fell. Eventually we stopped it around the world, and especially the resistance on the ground, but we all stopped it, and we said no more, gave everybody an equal go of it from the minute they're born, and that's all.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. We are the freedom fighters here today. We are the people who are fighting for a better world. A people who will not put up with the atrocities against the Palestinian people. We stand in solidarity with the Palestinians. And it's so good to see all you young people here today. And I want to see our arms all raised. Everybody raise your arms. Make a fist. And we're going to say, we will never, 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 never give up. We will always support the Palestinians until the day comes. We will all march into Jerusalem, arm in arm with the Palestinian people, singing, we are now free, free, free Palestine. Thank you. Well done, young people. Very, very good. Very proud.
Right now, we have, before we come to Israel, we've got Anwar. She's going to speak from the ground. Give Anwar a big round of applause. And where are you from? From Bradford. Give Anwar a massive round of applause all the way from Bradford, everybody. Fantastic.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome, everybody. I just want to say, as a mum and as a sister, as a daughter, the freedom that we have in this country to do what we want and to live how we want is something that we don't really think about very often. So we just need to really take in that there are mothers, particularly a mother this morning, who was actually crying over her deceased son's grave because the Israeli army were bulldozing the graveyard to build more space and more illegal accommodation for Israelis. So we always need to make sure that every time we are enjoying our freedom, that we take time out to make dua, to make prayers, and to constantly let everybody else know about the daily plight that they're going through. As a Kashmiri, born in Kashmir, the freedoms that I have here today are very rarely experienced by my sisters in Kashmir. Why? Because of establishments like this, who are taking the blood of these innocent people. So every time I sit down during this half term and enjoy the freedoms that we have here today, we have to remember that our sisters who are struggling to feed their children don't have the freedom of going out and enjoying half term. They don't even have the freedom of just thinking about letting their children be educated. That's reading and writing, which should be a right on every human being. Every human child should have the right to do that, the right to an education, but they don't. They wake up every morning frightened that they might not live to the end of the day, even though they got through that night. So I beg and I plead with you all here today, that when you go back today, don't let it just end here today. Go back, keep promoting, keep putting it on Instagram, on all those social media outlets, and expose these evil doers. Expose them. Let them know that freedom will Kashmiri, and all those people who are suffering over the world. Assalamu alaikum.
Terrific, thank you. Big round of applause. Free, free. Free, free. Free, free. Free, free. And as was just said there, one of the things we should remember, always when we come on these protests, yes, it's good that we are here every Tuesday. Yes, we will be here every Tuesday, won't we? Everybody put your hands up if you're going to be here next Tuesday. And the Tuesday after that. And the Tuesday after that. It's very good that we are here. But we are simply enduring a little bit of cool weather in the generally sunny streets of Oldham, outside a factory, with the police obligingly closing the road for us to listen to some good music and some speeches, and that's it. The Palestinians on a daily basis are marching towards the snipers of Israel, who are firing deliberately to cause them to amputate their limbs, if not worse. The Palestinians are on a daily basis facing the risk of eviction from their houses and the loss of their lands. The Palestinians every day are living with hardships that we, thankfully in this country, have the luxury of the right to come on the street and protest. And it is our right, as Wakas said earlier. But let us remember, therefore, that while we have this right, we must use it to support the Palestinians. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Viva, viva! Viva, viva! Viva, viva! Viva, viva! Viva, viva! What do we want? Freedom! When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? We're going to finish with Yisrael, and finally we're going to finish with two young Palestinian women, Suzanne and Rasha. So first of all, we'll start with Yisrael. Give Yisrael the big activist. He comes up from London to support us and knows what the meaning of fight and historic fight is. Give him a round of applause. Has anybody got a phone that's still working that they can video Yisrael speaking? Yeah, Wakas? All right, Yisrael, look at Wakas. All right, just get the paparazzi bit sorted, and then big round of applause for Yisrael.
I just want to say that this is what revolution looks like, by the way, people. Good afternoon, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades. I'm acting on behalf of Alta Solutions today, and I wanted to remind you that today is Kufr Qassam Day, a massacre which happened in a nation which parades itself as a place of democracy, freedom and justice. But let me ask you today, is cultural and ethnic cleansing justice? Is separate but equal democracy in action? Is controlled poverty guided by freedom and compassion? On that day, Israeli border police savaged and murdered Arab civilians. Non-combatants, people like you and me, like your family and friends, returning home from work during a curfew which they knew nothing about. 48 people were killed, 6 were women, 23 were children aged 8 to 17. Is that fair? Let me ask you gathered here, can a state apparatus, not a religion or a faith or an ethnic group, can a state which claims to stand up for human rights be called so when it disregards them when it feels like it? Is it justice when the policemen involved were brought to trial and found guilty and sentenced to prison terms and then received pardons in less than a year? In December 2007, the President of Israel formally apologized, but do we accept that apology? Do we accept an apology with the presence of military occupation in the West Bank and Gaza? Do we accept an apology when 1 million of those in the Gaza Strip are registered refugees? Today I want to ask you to think about what has changed and what hasn't, and what we can do about it. The biggest lie you can absorb is the lie that you can't do anything about it. People have stopped wars, they've won the right to vote, they've manifested ceasefires and ended apartheids. Not by wishing and wanting it, but by doing it. And you're all here today to do something about it, so I hope you're here next week and the week after. I hope you sign up, I hope you pay attention, because it doesn't end here.
Since 2006, Israel has withheld taxes it owes the Palestinian people. It's blocked access to groundwater, to grazing land, the basics, the essentials. Imagine if you didn't have running water, if you didn't have food to eat, if you didn't have anywhere for your cattle to go. According to the British journalist Jonathan Cook, Israeli economist Sher Hever estimated in 2016 that a minimum of 78% of foreign humanitarian aid to Palestine ends up with Israel. That explains a poverty incidence in the Gaza Strip of 45%. Imagine if 1 of every 2 of you were living in poverty, if you couldn't afford to put clothes in the back of your family and your friends. We want the British government to support the recognition of Palestine as a state. We want it to boycott, divest and sanction Israel for its war crimes. As an aggregate of government, institutional bodies and corporations, they must be held to account. That includes Elbit Systems. After all, how does a regime do violence? How does it do that? It does it when arms factories like this one here profit from death, when they sell bombs and unmanned drones and systems which control a populace. They decide that profits outweigh others' humanity when they ignore the capacity of abuse to be committed with their brand on it. When they fund surveillance for the West Bank barrier, an active war crime, they don't answer to anybody but the people. So you have to recognize that the power resides in you. All power to the people. That's why we want Elbit out of Oldham. Its presence here isn't democratic because nobody wants it here. The merchants of death have no place amongst decent people, and that's what I believe you are. So it's freedom by any means necessary. There are bodies in the cemetery, a struggle marked by its severity, so take to the streets. The Bible says that the meek inherit the earth. So why do my Palestinian brothers and sisters deserve the hearse? The prophet said that you should do good by any way that you can. So why is it that these people decide to put people in body bags? I know you can't believe that, but see that inhumanity is being practiced every day. Open your eyes to see that 4 bombs were dropped on average every 2 hours just during 2 days in May. Eyes are closed and hands are clasped to pray. Beyond violence, political freedoms that you might take for granted, complacency and inaction sends you as seeds that you plant, but uproot them. Know that the struggle has its root in ordinary people, in ordinary action, and people like you. You do have the power. Know that the struggle happens under extraordinary circumstances, and all it takes is a glance to see that there are people suffering, like you or me, in Gaza and Sheikh Jarrah. Homes are demolished in the interest of a campaign of ethnic cleansing. Israelis only, it sounds a lot like whites only in apartheid South Africa. If apartheid happened again in such a blatant way, would you be there from the start? Would you answer the call if Martin Luther King asked you to walk by his side? Would you join the stride for human rights? Would you join the stride? Would you join the fight? Or would you let others fight the battles to recognize freedom, justice, and equality? How you answer that determines the quality of your character, the content of which you should be judged on. So don't let people's rights beyond your borders be crushed on whilst you can do something about it. Free Palestine.
Hey! Big cheer there for Israel, please, who regularly impresses us with his eloquence and his passion and his commitment. And we're going to finish on, I told you we had international perspectives. It's practically international. Suzanne is from Kettering. So, prize to the furthest traveller today, but she is studying in Manchester. Suzanne.
I'm a Palestinian refugee from 1948. When my grandfather was 5 years old, him and our family were forced to flee from Jaffa. Like many refugees, they went to Gaza. Those who left their towns and villages believed they would be gone for 1 week, 2 weeks, a month at tops. All they took with them was their keys to their houses, and to this day they have not been able to return to the houses that they are now occupied by Israeli settlers. They left behind their shops, their businesses, and some even left behind food on the table that they were going to eat that evening. Palestinians were killed then, and they are still being killed now. We will never give up the right to return for the Palestinian refugees. We will continue to resist until we see a world with a free Palestine. A Palestine where our people are free to move, a free Palestine where our existence is not threatened, and our children can wake up each morning without the fear of being killed or discriminated against. where they imagine futures full of hope and success. We look forward to that day when all can return to a free Palestine, but this will only happen when we shut Elbit down. Thank you.
Hey, big round of applause. And just like we keep going, finally, we've got the rapper from...
Can we give a big round of applause? We have a Lowkey today, and Lowkey, just like everybody else, every other musician, you know, he's done incredible things for Palestine, he's done incredible things for rap. But we have a new up-and-coming guy as well who's giving it a go, and he is also brilliant. And can we give a round of applause to Harry Hench, who's going to do his first performance in front of such a big audience. Give him a round of applause. Can someone come to the sound so that we can get the music on, please? Thank you. He's got the instrumentals in the background, we're just figuring that out. Okay, just while we're waiting... I thought John was going to do his rap then. You good?
What's happening, everyone? This one's called Slow Down, yeah? Yo, can you start again, please? Sorry. Take two. I've not done this live in front of people before, I'll be honest with you. Big respect, Oldham, free Palestine. Looking at the world the way that it is. People run around, they rush to get rich. Think we need to take a moment for ourselves. Slow down. Think about the world the way that it is. Things have got to change, they got to change quick. Everybody on their knees, the whole earth falls down. Sink to this beat. Think how good it would be if we all were free. Let the whole world cease. That the hopelessly should live hopefully overseas. Think of Palestine in the of the hurt is where the polish shines. Give you all my clothes, give you all my time. The best of my thoughts and the rest of my rhymes was in my chest is yours. The blessings I find, this lesson of yours is the lesson of time in the west. Banks a wall in the west, in our mind blockade on our hearts. The tension, the fights, the intentions divide, but the oppression unites. One love, one struggle, one test to do right. One less lives tonight, one message survives. The best things to die for the essence of life. Looking at the world the way that it is. People run around, they rush to get rich. Then we need to take a moment for ourselves. Slow down. Think about the world the way that it is. Things have got to change, they got to change quick. Everybody on their knees, the whole earth falls down and sink to the abyss. Glimpse in the eclipse. The best things we like in the west, things we buy. But when they're swinging by, don't be left thinking why. Head sinks to cry, may he rest with goodbye. God bless and good luck. Destined to rise from the slums and the coast to the heavens up above. From chains and feeling stuck to flowing like a dove. From story unheard to best-selling book. From never getting loved to forever getting loved. Can't be any better put. Want pennies and a cup. Then you get it put. Then you getting cooked. Enjoy it while it lasts. Hold your moment, it will pass. Keep distorting all the past for the future's all we ask. Pretend that we are linked. Only one thing common, that's you go to war with the facts. We go to war with your facts. Looking at the world the way that it is. People run around, they rush to get rich. Then we need to take a moment for ourselves. Slow down. Think about the world the way that it is. Things have got to change, they got to change quick. Everybody on their knees, the whole earth falls down and sink full of sorrow. Win, if not today then tomorrow. Time is borrowed, that's the real debt. That's what we forget, living for the check. Gotta pay our bills, it's our spirits we neglect. Ineffective is what we all are best. That's depressed. The press is the stress, they press in distress. Invest in the mess and invest. Time to delete the pest. Cockroaches are what grotesque, oh yes. Live free, born free, Palestinian causes, thoughts, told me won't be no peace unless we're all free. Don't believe all these ghostly stories. All that you told me and all that you told reeks full of that BS. We as a globe, we looking at the world the way that it is. People run around, they rush to get rich. Then we need to take a moment for ourselves. Slow down, and think about the world the way that it is. Things are gotta change, they gotta change quick. Everybody on their knees, the whole earth falls down and sinks to the bottom of the ocean. That's it, man.
Thank you. And hasn't it been great over these protests of the last 6 months that we've been able to give space and an audience for people who haven't been on a microphone before. So thank you everyone for 6 months who has come up to this stand and spoken in support of Palestine. Thank you everyone today from Yorkshire and Merseyside and Greater Manchester and Cheshire and even beyond. And a big round of applause for those who organised today and got us this truck and got us these speakers and got us Lowkey over there hiding quietly. Big round of applause. And let's have a big round of applause for Palestine Action, who have been trying yet again to occupy Elbit and close Elbit down. Now, before we go, the little practical bit, if you've got a flag or if you've got a banner, if you can start to fold it up neat and tidy and put it over in that corner there near the Cairo House visitor parking, just on the pavement. So if you have a flag from us or a banner from us, just pop it over there. And remember, tomorrow, if you're in Manchester, the Immigration Tribunal in the morning, in Bradford in the afternoon, Centenary Park for Kashmir. And where will we be next Tuesday? Where will we be next Tuesday? Shut down Elbit!
And please, if you are here for the first time or you're not in touch, please come to me and give us your contact details. We want to get everybody, because they are organising for Israel to do lots of horrible things in Palestine. We need to organise, we need to stay connected. So please come to me. Also, I think there are buckets going around for donations for today. Do we have those buckets? They were supposed to be brought today. We do need donations for today. We don't have the buckets. Well, that's great. But anyway, we please, if people could just try and donate a little bit, because a lot of this costs a lot of money, and we want to keep on firing, we want to keep on being ambitious, and we want to keep being organised. So for the first and final cheer, please stay connected, give us your contact details, but also let's cheer everybody who came out today, who are going to keep coming out, and we will win. We will shut Elbit down, and we will free Palestine. Give them a cheer, everybody.
Yeah, this is now Divine. So if you just join and there's someone on the roof. They've occupied the roof, but I think they've been injured whilst they're attempting to do it. So the ambulance is there as well now. So let's go through there, thank you. Right, do you know if he's on the bridge bit or?
We have no idea he's on there. In there. Oh, we were there. He stands in the middle, so you
It's obviously built to be bigger with the people.
If you can, where is it? Near Piccadilly, 9 o'clock near Piccadilly. Lovely to see you, Shah. That was good, wasn't it? Well done. Fantastic, right?
Just putting my tripod on.
That didn't go as well as it could have done.
I'm live streaming as well, by the way. Just in case you guys picked up. Yeah, the police are attempting to get them down at the minute. I believe he's on that bridge there. I don't know if we got over the bridge though onto the next roof. Could possibly be there on the next roof as well. They set off loads of flares when it was happening, so we couldn't see anything.
People wanting jobs. If we continue Kids are back from school 3:30 and all that.
Alright, we're all finished, everybody. Let's go. Oh, do you need any help?
Very good species.
Don't forget that.
You must have injured or broke it. You must have just broke it. Yeah.
Look, Oldham police at the bottom. We'll go down the wooded path. We won't be allowed in that car park. Yeah. Yeah, man. Imagine this is a distraction now.
You were following me,
Imagine this is just a distraction now.
Yeah. You're always saying I just want to see what condition he's in.
What? Oh, is it down there? Fuck's sake.
Why be a fire guy before down there trying to say, oh, I can't take this to the fire engine, I can't do this, I can, and I will do. And the police officers are like, there you go.
Well, the reason why the fire brigade won't want it, was it the fire brigade? Yeah. The reason they won't want it is because they'll be in shit with FPU if they try and get a ladder up to get them down.
Yeah.
In fact, no, because there's an injury, I don't think it would be.
They just covered stuff in then, didn't they?
Sorry?
They just got stuff out of the van then, didn't they?
I think they got straight out.
I'm going to go back down there, see if they're stretching
I don't think because he's inside the bridge, you won't see anything. The only thing you'll see is literally from here. That's it. And that's if they don't block the view from here, which they could quite easily do.
They've already got the ambulance, it's just over there.
There isn't a good one still. They'll skip to it there, but you can more or less make this invisible by push your lenses right.
If them cars weren't there, it'd be a lot better. If them 3 cars, like a white one, blue one, sort of dark where, wasn't there? Behind the ambulance.
Right, yeah.
Then we
You can go around the other side, yeah.
We can't see anything.
Just go manual focus.
Well, last time.
Don't auto focus here, just go manual focus.
We still can't get much from that second 10.
So roll
You can see a little bit inside from round there.
Okay,
you can see straight into the building. But I think this is the better angle. I think, yeah. You got that road blocking you there, so you can't see half of the ambulance.
Yeah.
But you can see into the building.
I mean, he's getting stretched out.
Yeah.
I know, but they have a second.
The live streams on there. The camera's just turned itself off. Freelance, and then my own company, CK.
Okay.
So I I submit the footage to that actual news agents and put the full thing on my channel, so
Oh, right.
you can't edit around it.
What's the category at the top?
I don't. If you want to take a picture of my hat, feel free.
Yeah. What's the agency you said?
Newsflash.
Oh, okay, cool. What's that sound? What's that sound?
Take. Like a journalist as a take.
Okay.
Take media.
Go for that one.
Trying to get the focus right on it, because it's auto focus on the phone. Oh shit.
I think they're taking them out in the end. It's not the way he wanted to. Right, in a minute.
Thanks, guys!
Yeah, we will. That's the angle.
I've already seen it. There's already got around. No. Why don't you put it out there?
Hey, it's not a wiki comment.
We got down. I don't know what happened to the other one.
Video. The other one.
It looks like one obviously fell in, so I saw a video of that.
Sprained ankle and sprained arm.
Straight arms, back through.
And we got into that bit. This will come out. And stuff on through the describer against obviously they're
Depends on your few frames there that you can use that as a gift.
I'm not giving that call.
Down and back up again.
Just wait till you came out. Yeah. Look at the shout. Let him know when he'll be coming out of there.
Then he's going to come. And I don't have a second cut. But do you know what? It means I'll get this shot. You got that one, I'll get this one.
I get some.
You get them walking over.
I got one of them walking over and I got him fell and through.
The flares were up when they fell, so I couldn't see anything. I got the start of it though, the start of the walk. No. I've got to walk home anyway, so I'll do it all on my walk home.
I'm not going to text you. Always got to do that one.
Yeah, no worries.
It'd be interesting to know.
Alright guys, I'll see you in the next game.
See you later.
See ya.
Absolute millions from warfare. And look at the security card. It's a Skoda Octavia, but look at it. That car. Skoda Octavia.
It's just a normal car, that's how this. I know if I go down there, they're gonna bring them out here.
Is there another enemy? Is there another enemy?
There's emergency response paramedics. You know where it's not a van. It's a good car.
The funny thing is that every time there's an accident, it's like you move this far, and their security does that.
That might be in the phone, but... Well, that's about... The barbed wire's new, isn't it? The barbed wire's new, innit? They're like what? Like a park. Stop the car? Yeah. Can't do it. Stop you going down there. So now I know when you stood over there, them security guards and purposes were standing in the way of the camera.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well then these ones are?
Yeah. They moved themselves so that they're blocking off the view to inside. If you're just joining now, you want to rewind to about half an hour ago and see when all the flares went up. There was a lad who got onto the roof then. We're just waiting for them to bring them out now.
Who registers? Someone else has registered.
No, well, sometimes depends. Yeah, I do most of my own editing, but sometimes I get other people to do it.
Do you know what's happened to...
I think he's going to be pulled out and put in the ambulance there.
Right, is he badly hurt?
We're not sure how hurt he is yet, no. Enough to need a stretcher, we
I
think.
can't find my book in all that. I think it was up there.
I think it's that road you'll be looking for, back to the main road.
Back to Winwood. I think I remember them names.
Cool. That's lucky.
I hope he's okay anyway.
Yes, no one wants anyone to be hurt, do they?
Well, no. There's been no way to find out. We don't go and go to the news, will it?
It might be. Depends.
Reckon.
With only one of them getting up though. I don't know. They'd still be interested, you know. Is it this entrance is coming out?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Can you favour get the ambulance to move a little bit so we can just see when it comes out?
I wish.
Yeah, it's coming out this way.
I missed the fucking... I missed him getting over.
Yeah, it's proper sudden, wasn't it? So, yeah, we just had an update off the police. He'll be being brought down shortly. He's not too injured. Minor injuries.
Yeah, we'll send.
Get myself to main road and
Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, nice. See you later.
Yeah. Oh yeah, shortly.
We love you!
Where's Ryder?
We love you!
Don't bang the fence.
You're amazing!
Yeah, he is. Have you ever seen Simpsons Hit and Run? Damn it, I reckon you've missed it.
What's that song?
We're not open the door, put the lights on.
What's that one that we love you go? I was thinking, police.
One sweet and they're gone. Right. Go on! The girl
You're amazing! Thank you!
You don't put him back out and then again out.
Neil, the go-to one, what is it like if we put a wire? If I put a wire on there,
Although, I mean, it's okay with prison vans, I'm not sure if it's okay with ambulance.
well, that's the thing. It's up to the
It's in motion. We mean if it's static.
No, so if they've got.
But it's not critically injured, is it?
So if when they come off, I put one in.
Dangerous territory, right? I wouldn't do that.
Who are you flashing?
From inside.
Both actually.
So, yeah, I don't know if you see it then, that's the guy getting in the ambulance. We'll just get the ambulance leaving now and then, and I'm going to end the live stream now.
It's full power, isn't it? It is a hefty weight of it. I'm coming out there?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is...
It makes sense to wait 5 to 10 minutes. It would make sense.
So when this van...
allow him.
When this van comes out... Have you ever seen pictures of men inside prison vans?
Oh, yeah. Of course, right, yeah. Sorry. Normal.
Because that'll be a better shot.
Zero professional knowledge.
Right, so... What am I going on? 160?
I'm on 140 now.
I'm not saying you should I'm saying it's weird. I can go down to about 180 for a second.
Slow, man. You're under.
I'm on 180 now. It only gives me 2 flashes for 180.
One on
For the windows. I'm thinking of windows.
Enjoy the rest of your day too. Thank you, Another Alternative, for sharing out the video. If you're not already, go subscribe to Another Alternative. I'll link it in the chat now. On YouTube.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about hitting out. Those ladies are really angry already. Yeah, I don't mess with them. Because we can get through these bolts. So they put the sirens on, like, roll back. To be fair, like, they are a blue light thing. I get they want to, but they weren't in any.
Friends on that drive get out a lot angry. Just definitely get a lot angry. I've had one come out and stop the van, get out. No, we're a prison van.
I'm just right. Right, let me try it. Is it on here?
It's right on now.
Yeah, he's in the ambulance.
Or, if you don't want to bang on the sides, what you can do is applaud as it goes past on the top. Yeah, but you can't hear whistle on it. Yeah.
Oh, on a picture.
That's probably better, isn't it?
No, you can go at your normal pace. It's fine. You get movement in the hands and it shows you're doing something.
We're having enough flush now. Now the question is ISO.
Did you flash require battery?
Yes.
Like in itself?
How are you going to
Either which way.
I need to get my tripod.
Children, and yet he's being arrested to try and stop it. Fucking joke. It's disgusting. Facilitation of war crimes happens in that building, and yet someone brave enough to try and stop it is being fucking dragged away and kidnapped for trying to stop it. All in a day's work though, innit, really?
I'll see you next time. See you next time. Okay, I'm going to end the live stream there. Thanks everyone for watching. Where did Ryan go? He's up there. Yeah, go check out Ryan Jenks 2424 on Instagram. He'll have photos from today as well. Thanks for watching. I'll be live again tomorrow at the anti-spiking protest around 7 PM. So make sure you tune in for that. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.